WSO2 Enterprise Integrator 6 Developer Exam is great for developers who have a thorough knowledge of WSO2 Enterprise Integrator. Killtest has completed the Real Enterprise Integrator 6 Developer Exam questions to help you pass the exam successfully and smoothly. The WSO2 Enterprise Integrator 6 Developer Exam questions designed by Killtest meets this important aspect. You can use WSO2 Enterprise Integrator 6 Developer Exam questions PDF without any hassle on your laptop, smartphone, or tablet. This video shares free dumps demo online. Just read and check. Question 1. How can users write their own connector for the ESB profile of the WSO2A? A. Create a connector project and include proxy services to invoke the API provider's endpoints. B. Create a connector project and write Synapse configurations that call the API provider's endpoints. C. Create a connector project and use the API provider's SDK. D. Both option A and B can be used. Question 2. Select the best extension point of the ESB profile that can be used to secure an API created inside the ESB profile with access restricted to limited user roles. A. Use an Access2 handler. B. Write a custom class mediator. C. Use an API handler. D. Use an Access2 module. Question 3. Which statement about the entitlement mediator is true? A. Entitlement mediator intercepts requests and evaluates the actions performed by the user against an extensible access control markup language (XACML) policy. B. All of the above. C. When configuring the mediator, you specify which sequence to execute depending on the entitlement mediator result. D. Entitlement mediator can only work with WSO2 identity server as the policy decision point. Question 4. Which of the following EIP patterns does not alter the message content? A. Wiretap. B. Message translator. C. Content enricher. D. Splitter. Question 5. What is the most appropriate scenario for using a class mediator over a script mediator? A. For debugging purposes, you want to introduce some latency in the message flow. B. You want to change just a single element in the XML payload without changing other elements. C. For testing purposes, you want to record the elapsed time between calling a backend service and receiving the response be the proxy service. D. You want to develop a logging mediator that sends logging data to an external database such as MySQL. Question 6. Which statement is false about inbound endpoints? A. Inbound endpoints are useful when you have to configure the message sources dynamically. B. Inbound endpoints can be clustered. C. HTTP inbound endpoints can use existing default port 8280. D. They always run based on the underlying task execution framework. Question 7. Which statement is false about REST APIs in the ESB profile? A. Specifying a URL template or a URL mapping is mandatory for all the resources in a REST API. B. APIs can be exposed through HTTP inbound endpoints. C. REST APIs are exposed over one of the HTTP listener ports opened by the HTTP transport. D. Each REST API can have multiple resources, and each resource can have different service orchestration logic of backend services. Question 8. Which message construct cannot directly receive messages from the protocol layer, wire? A. API. B. Inbound endpoint. C. Proxy service. D. Message processor. Question 9. Consider the following scenario. In the next WSO2 integration project, you need to implement the Content Filter Enterprise Integration Pattern, EIP. However, the messages coming into your sequence are in a wired format not supported in the ESB profile, so you cannot implement the content filter EIP. What would be the best extension point that you can use to overcome this issue? A. Write a class mediator. B. Write a synapse handler. C. Write a custom message builder and formatter. D. Use the script mediator. Question 10. How do you configure a REST API to handle different mediation logic with different HTTP verbs? A. Define a resource for each API, and only allow that HTTP verb for that particular resource. B. Each HTTP method can be identified by the transport, and you can configure a sequence for each method at transport configuration logic. C. Only define the message filtering switching logic inside a sequence, and each path can handle the specific HTTP verb. D. Wrap a given REST API with an inbound so that you can filter out requests based on an HTTP verb.